Hi guys, how are ya?
All right.
Good to see you guys again. On behalf of the million members of Environmental Action, I thank you for this opportunity to discuss our grave concerns and wishes moving forward to save the iconic and irreplaceable myriad species of flora and fauna, who many of are on the brink of extinction in this truly beautiful state. And I would add that I am pleased to address you as a new resident of Florida. After the damage and bloodshed associated with last year's bear hunt, it became clear that I needed to become a full resident so that I can frequently stand with my sisters and brothers, activists, wildlife lovers, and their children to prevent what happened last year from ever happening again.
And the taxes are cheaper down here than New York too.
Yeah,
so that might help.
I won't be voting for anyone like Rick Scott, trust me. Anyway, commissioners, in 1998, the people of Florida overwhelmingly supported Constitutional Amendment 5, which is known today as Article 4, Section 9 of the Florida Constitution, to create this agency, which was enacted to ensure adequate resources and oversight of Florida's wild animals and aquatic life. FWC itself echoed these sentiments in your document entitled Agency Strategic Plan 2014 through 2019, in which you state, quote, fundamental to the success of this plan are the principles that conservation is a public trust responsibility and that FWC, more than ever, will need and seek the active involvement of all Floridians. Commissioners, it pains me to say that for reasons that I will discuss further and specifically, this administration's FWC, that of your Governor Rick Scott, has failed to adhere to the intentions of the framers of Constitutional Amendment 5, and even more so as it pertains to evoking a sense of public trust that listens to and adheres to the will of the people. Last year, despite opposition by a vast majority of Floridians, you went ahead with an unnecessary, ill-advised, and flawed bear hunt that contributed to the killing of over 600 Florida black bears. This included 2 bear management units, the Eastern Panhandle BMU and the Central Florida BMU, that exceeded the allotted quota by 3 times and by 40% respectively. You pride yourself on the utilization of sound science, but you sanctioned this hunt without even knowing the full population of the bears, as a statewide assessment at that time had not been completed since 2002. Furthermore, you sanctioned a hunt with porous rules which allowed for the assassination of cubs and lactating mothers. The hunt was so out of control that Director Wiley called it off after 2 days, even though the season was supposed to last for 1 week. To make matters worse, certain members of this commission who voted for the hunt also purchased a permit to take part in it, which all but eviscerated any semblance of a public trust responsibility, perception of objectivity, and was perniciously proximate to a conflict of interest. Most recently, you released your first black bear assessment in nearly 14 years, and this is what we got. A 5-page report, including the literature cited section. This is what we waited 14 years for a species that was listed as endangered less than 4 years ago. With all due respect, commissioners, I wrote a longer book report on the Lorax when I was in the 3rd grade. And if this wasn't bad enough, you once again demonstrated your use of selective science when in the introduction of this abbreviated report you state, quote, the bear density estimates were amended slightly because the expected population rather than the realized or actual population was more appropriate for your study. Like, wow. And even more feckless is the fact that this report was completed before the bear hunt commenced. So in reality, it does not accurately portray the current situation of the current population. The report highlights the level of trust between this agency and the public, which has reached an all-time nadir. And it's not just the public. I have a portion of a statement which was sent to me before last year's hunt from a former FWC intern. In it, he states the hunt is being rushed politically by high-end Florida politicians. Many FWC employees hate working towards it, and some have even quit in response to it. To many in the bear and activist communities, it's becoming increasingly obvious that you are planning on making the same ill-advised decisions as you did last year based on shoddy science and once again against the will of the people. Vice Chairwoman Purdy, you just gave a talk at Florida Gulf Coast University entitled The Next Endangered Species, which is ironic because if this runaway commission continues on its current trajectory, the next endangered species will not be your precious cattle rights. It'll be the Florida black bear, the Florida panther, just for starters. The people are no longer fooled. We know what's going on as it pertains to the bears in your recent habitat management plan, which includes a petition to kill, harass, and otherwise remove the Florida panther, which there are less than 180 left in the entire world. This surreptitious ploy to clear as many species out of the way so that you can impose your dead bear and dead panther for petroleum program. Vice Chairwoman, you were recently paid $3.75 million by the people of Florida to dedicate a portion of your land as a conservation easement. Congratulations. Coincidentally, that easement sits on top of a wealth of oil and gas resources. You also claimed that you have not received that money yet due to government red tape. But respectfully, government red tape is not a delay in getting your money. It is more exemplified in the disregard of the public will, the disregard of sound science, and the removal of your own employees who disagree with your decisions that are littered in fatuity. This commission has failed to do its job. It has lost the trust of the public, and it's time to do the right thing. Most, if not all of you, need to resign in the name of the bears, the panthers, and all the other endangered species you seek to dispatch to the annals of oblivion, and the name of the citizens of this great state who are getting a raw deal. For the vice chairwoman, consider the $3.75 million a retirement pension, and if you are concerned about expediting the process of getting your money, I'll make a deal with you right now. I am confident that I can get all the people opposed to your decisions to sign a petition to your boss to expedite your payment if it will expedite your removal from this commission. In closing, let me just say this. If you are indeed planning another bear hunt, as we all expect, we will use a diversity of tactics to stop you. We will organize, we will protest, and we will use civil disobedience because it has come to that. In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, the limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. If we ever get free from the oppressions and wrongs heaped upon us, we must pay for their removal. We will do this by labor, by suffering, by sacrifice, and if need be, by our lives. Therefore, do not just look at us as activists anymore. You best see us as new abolitionists. And one way or another, and by any means necessary, we will abolish your tyranny unless you come back to the will of the people and start acting in compliance with why this agency was founded in the first place. Thank you.